Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning presentation. Hold on a second here. I'm having a little difficulty getting my screen to display. 1 second here. There we go. Okay, I think I got this organized now. I pushed the wrong button somewhere. And let's get this monitor to display. Okay. Welcome. This is our open house session. My name is Eric Senft. I'm going to be your host here for the next hour and a half or so. And what you're looking at here is the diversified trading system. It's diversified because we're looking at the market from 3 different points of view. Here in the top left, we have the Hawk Scalper. Top right, we have the Falcon Swing Trader. Bottom left, we have the Eagle Trend Trader. And the bottom right, we have the Raptor. The Raptor is the latest addition to the DTS family, and it's essentially a hybrid and includes elements of the Hawk, the Falcon, and the Eagle all into one trading tool. Now, I don't have my Trade Manager strategies put on just yet. And the reason I didn't do that is I had a question from one of the members the other day saying, oh, when I shut down my platform, I need to turn off the strategies, and it seems like a hassle when I install the strategies in the morning. Okay, so here's an easy way to do that. Click your Strategies tab, and if you saved your workspace, you should already have your strategies all ready to go. So really all you need to do is click OK, and voila, there's your strategy. So it's really not that difficult to get it loaded. What is useful, however, is when you set up your strategies, make whatever changes you want to make. My changes are really just cosmetic. I do enable the auto break-even feature, and I change the way it looks a little bit. I put in a larger type, and I change the entry position from a display on the left to a display on the right because I think it interferes less with the bars. But once you have everything to your liking, if you go here to the template manager and where it says save, if you give your template a name, so for instance, this template is for my Falcon, so if I type in Falcon and hit enter, it will save a template named Falcon. And it will remember that that is that template. So next time you load a fresh chart and you want to put the Falcon template on it, well, I just need to go here to load and choose Falcon, and it will automatically load my presets. So again, it's a huge time saver, and it just makes it very easy to apply your strategies when you first open up your charts. All right, so I just wanted to take a quick minute to explain that. And for those of you brand new to the room, you won't have a clue what I was just talking about, but don't worry about it. We'll explain some of these things as we go on here this morning. So I'm just loading my strategies onto the crude oil and gold charts. The charts you see here are the NASDAQ. But I'm more than happy to take a look at any market which is of interest to you. So don't be shy, and please feel free to ask questions. If today's session is anything like the session have been earlier this week, it could be a little bit on the quiet side. But not to fear, it is a trade demo room, so I will demonstrate some trades regardless, because that's how we roll. All right. All trades develop the same way with the DTS system. First, we get an audio alert along with a warning dot telling us that a trade is setting up on a particular tool. When the trade parameters have been met, we get a triangle and a hash mark. That tells us it's time to make a decision about the trade. Not all signals are created equal. Don't fret because you're looking at this and you say, whoa, there's a whole lot of signals there, and some of these signals aren't working out. That's because we don't take every single signal. For instance, these yellow bar signals here, these sell signals, we ignore yellow bars on the hawk. Yellow bars are just too neutral on the hawk. But there are some high probability signals that we look for, this being one of them, a first micro-macro cross lower. And this tool that I'm using here on the left-hand, or pardon me, the right-hand side to set this trade, this is called the Trade Manager. This Trade Manager is an invaluable tool for a retail trader. This tool allows you to trade the same way the big firms on Wall Street trade. I cannot overemphasize how important this tool is to your trading success. And no, I'm not just saying that. It is true. The Trade Manager has several features, one of which is this Risk Manager component. What the Risk Manager allows is it allows me to place a trade wherever I want. I can place my stop loss like so, note the risk amount, or I can place my stop loss way up here. Oh, sorry, a little bit of a rounding error there. Let's try it like this. Still. Come on, let's do it right here. There. Note the risk amount. The risk, it always contains your risk to your preset amount, in this case 2% of my trading capital. What that does is it never allows you to risk more than you can afford to lose. We also have, I've happened to preset some profit objectives here, and I'm currently all in, all out on my targets. However, I can preset as many as 3 targets and have a runner in play. So I'm chasing this first micro-macro cross signal around. We'll see if we get a fill on this. Now the Trade Manager also has 16 different stop strategies for you to choose from. And they're all customizable. And here I'd better show you how one of these work. So at the moment I've selected the swing high-low strategy. So it's going to place my stop above or below the previous swing, whatever I select. And as soon as I enable it, watch what happens. It's going to take my stop and it's going to place it according to these blue dots. From here on out, it's going to automatically manage my trade for me. I don't even need to watch this trade anymore. And like I say, we have a whole lot of different stop strategies to choose from here. We can preview them if you want to see what they're going to look like. Let's say you want to go with the chandelier strategy. So the Trade Manager will manage your trade according to these blue dots. It will automatically roll your stops for you. Now I'm going to try to keep my stops a little bit further away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my break even and my high probability profit target. Hopefully we'll see the market tail off a little bit here to the downside, and I'll be able to show you exactly how the trade manager rolls your stops for you. It's still very early in the morning. Usually we allow the markets to settle in a little bit, but I'm afraid if I don't try to get on a trade early for you, you're not going to be able to see one. All right, well, let's put that one on the shelf there for the moment. Now we're moving into a green bar sell situation. It's going to be the last chance for the sellers to show up here and try to press this market lower. All right, let's take a look here at the Falcon now. The Falcon, again, all the signals are based on the same situation. First, we're going to get a warning dot. That's going to be followed by a triangle and a hash mark. And again, there's certain setups that we look for before we commit to a signal. Generally speaking, however, we try to take a signal which is in sync with the trend line. So when the trend line is green, we're looking to buy. When the trend line is red, we're looking to sell. And again, in most cases, we're looking for confluence. We're looking for the filter also to be in sync. I think I forgot to mention that on the hawk. These horizontal lines that you see on here, this is what we call the ultimate support and resistance suite. This is a standalone trading system. It is not part of the DTS system. It's what we call a system add-on. And what that means is you can use it on any chart. You can use it on a 5-minute chart, or you can use it on a tick chart, or you can use it on whatever chart. You cannot use them on daily charts. They're meant to be used intraday. And you cannot use them on exotic charts like point and figure charts, or no, I think point and figure is the only one you can't really use it on. These are the support and resistance lines which are forecast for today's trading session. And no, they are not floor pivots. No, they are not Fibonacci retracements. They are much better. And I'm not just saying that, they are much better. So you can see today the market's actually following the lines pretty well. We came up here, we hit the resistance line, came down here, hit the gold line. The gold line is what we call the median line, and that's because it falls right in the middle of our assortment. So between the gold line, the primary resistance, which is the blue line above, and the primary support, which is the blue line below, if the market gets above here, it tends to have a bullish flavor for the day. If it gets below, it tends to have a bearish tone. So we see the market rally up. It actually moved 2 zones, 3 zones almost got to the next level before it turned, and now it's kind of pinched between these 2 lines. And the market waffling a little bit, you know, moving back and forth. Oh, it looks like they're heading lower, so I'd be able to show you perhaps now on the hawk how the ATR stops work, or how the auto stops work. Not yet. Maybe parabolics. Parabolics will be in sync. There we go. All right, so I'm going to accept the parabolic strategy, and now I'm going to enable it and watch what happens with my stop. So from here on out, Trade Manager will automatically roll my stops for me. Oh, you see that? It rolled it down. Now, I would usually hold my stop further back. If you're in this trade, you want to keep your stop up here. I'm just going to demonstrate this I'm not sure we're going to be able to ride out this swing. I do think the market's going to head a little lower, but do you see how the trade manager keeps rolling my stops? And maybe I can still get that out of harm's way for now. All right, so we'll back that up for a little bit. We'll put it back at its original placement, just above the swing high. And we'll see if the sellers don't decide to show up here. Not liking that. Working into a possible first micro macro cross higher. Uh-oh. That's not good. Maybe I should have taken the early stop out. Come on, sellers, where'd you go? Yesterday was very much a sideways trading day. Well, actually the day before was also. On to the Eagle trend trader. The Eagle we base our directionality on this trading band. No, it's not an Ichimoku cloud. Yes, I know it looks like one. So when the band is bullish like it is here, we tend to look for buy signals. When the band is, oh, I don't have a bearish band. Oh, there we go. When the band is bearish, we look for sell signals. And here too, we get the audio alert, we get the warning dot, the triangle, the hash mark, and we have our high probability signals that we tend to look for. So generally speaking, when the market encounters the hard edge, that's this part of the band right here, we expect some sort of reaction. So the market drifts into the hard edge, produces a signal. This is what we refer to as a green bar sell. So we drift into the hard edge, we produce green bars along with a sell signal, and that's actually one of our high probability signals, and you can see it worked out pretty well for us. Here on the flip side, we have the red bar buy, which is the opposite of the green bar sell, and that's also one of our high probability signals, and you can see that also had some decent follow through to it. All right, so those are the kinds of things that we're going to be looking for on the Eagle. Here's just a regular hard edge bounce. The market drifts into the hard edge and the band spits it out and produces a signal, and away we go. What I'm looking for here currently is for the market to fail and perhaps head a little bit lower. So here we have the trade forecaster. This tool is also a standalone, and which means that it works on any trading system. And the trade forecaster, what it does is it forecasts what the current market condition is and what the next one is most likely to be. So actually, trade forecaster is saying we're going to be in trend mode for 117 minutes. Exactly. So almost for 2 hours. We're expecting the market to remain in trend mode. It doesn't say whether we're going to trend higher or lower, but we could expect a fairly smooth progression this morning. That would be nice. So once again, this is not part of the DTS system. Rather, it's an add-on that you can use on any chart. And I have a feeling I should get back to my hawk trade because I think I'm going to get tagged here in a second. All right, so last chance for the bears to pull this market out of the fire. The beauty of using a tool like the Trade Manager is even if I did nothing with this trade, as I did nothing with this trade, even if I get tagged here, which I'm about to, as unpleasant as that is, I have not lost more than I can afford. I've lost only 2% of my trading capital. Where most traders go wrong is in that they end up risking far more than they can afford. And then they wonder, what happened? Why did I lose money on this, or why did I blow up my account? Well, you blew up your account because you were routinely risking 7, 8, 10% of your trading capital. And you take 4 or 5 losers in a row. If you're risking 10% of your capital every time, well, you just blew up 50% of your account. And then people are left scratching their heads, wondering, well, what did I do wrong? And it's not that you did anything wrong. For instance, our hawk signal here, it was a first micro-macro cross lower. It was a high probability signal. There was nothing wrong with taking it. I would have managed it a little bit more aggressively on this move lower here, but that's neither here nor there. The fact is, I did not lose more than I could afford. So even by doing nothing to this trade, I have not lost an inordinate amount of my capital. And capital preservation is everything. Here we have a first micro macro cross higher. See, it's actually the opposite of this one. This was our sell signal. The first micro macro cross occurs when the thin line, that's the micro line, crosses the fat line, that's the macro line. And it's the first signal that produces where everything is in sync. So we have green bars, green trend lines, green filter, and a green signal. These tend to be our highest probability signals here on the hawk, and they actually have like about an 80% success ratio. This is one of the 20% that you saw here that failed. Something that I don't think any other trading room moderator will show you. Yes, I just showed you a losing trade. As good as the DTS system is, it's not 100%, and that's why, again, we need to take steps to protect ourselves in case the market does something unexpected. It should have headed lower from here. This move lower here off this green bar sell, we should have seen the sellers try to recover more of the market, but whatever. Okay, I was about to show you the Raptor. The Raptor, as I mentioned, is a blend. It's a hybrid. It incorporates elements of the hawk, the falcon, and the eagle. You can see the eagle cloud here. We've actually doubled the cloud on the Raptor. The bar colors are reminiscent of the hawk in that we get some yellow bars. And yes, you can change the bar color. You don't have to stay with the blue and the fuchsia. You can customize your bar colors. In fact, the Raptor is the most customizable of the DTS system. It allows you to change a few parameters. The DTS birds per se are locked. The Raptor, however, does allow you some tweakability. So you can make a few more changes here with the Raptor than you can with the other tools. Again, signal generation occurs with a warning dot. We're getting a warning dot. When the signal is complete, we get a triangle hash mark. You can see this one, the warning dot actually got absorbed by the triangle hash mark. That's not uncommon. It's not a big deal. There's high probability signals that we look for. Hard edge bounces like this one right here. So the market comes into the hard edge of the band, bounces out. Cloud crossover signals, so the clouds change direction. We look for the market to retreat into the cloud and then come out, produce a signal. This tool here, before I move on, is the Geiger counter. The Geiger counter is also one of these standalone tools. It's a system add-on, which means you can use it on any chart, not just a DTS chart. with the Geiger counter, what you're seeing here is a visual of the time and sales. So you've got the tape reader here. So you can see there was a whole lot of selling going on here. And another influx of selling. Our Geiger counter needle has already turned red, suggesting the market condition is more bearish. And we have this little envelope around the bars, which gives us a short-term bias. So right now, short-term, it's also looking rather bearish. This dial that you see flipping back and forth here, that's kind of important. If you watch the dial and you see how it's pulling here to the short side and it's holding. If it does that, if it pulls to one side, the extreme, and just holds for like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, that shows you the buyers or the sellers really trying to chew through those orders that are there. You see how it's sticking? We should expect at least a very short-term move lower here. The Geiger counter was actually developed in response to one of our DTS owners' questions. He said, can you give me a tool that lets me know when I should get out of a trade? So for instance, let's say he bought way down here this hard edge bounce and the market is moving up and he's in this trade, and obviously, you know, you may have a whole lot of open profit here depending how you manage the trade. If this was, no, it's not enough, but pretend this was our stop strategy. These blue dots that you see here. And let's say you bought this hard edge bounce and you're in this trade, you've got a fair amount of open profit, and you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, should I roll up my stop? Should I take profit? What should I do? There's probably a good $100 from where the market is to where my stop loss is, and I may not necessarily want to give all that up. Geiger counter to the rescue. So if you see the market pulling here to the short side and holding and holding and holding, that may tell you that you're going to get a short-term move lower, in which case you may choose to move your stops in a little tighter. Maybe go with something like the parabolics or the bar high-low or one of our more aggressive stop strategies. Or maybe even just adjust the ATR. If you're using the ATR, go with something a lot more aggressive. Change the settings to be a little bit tighter. The Geiger counter also useful for gauging if you want to get into a trade. So let's say you get a buy signal, like this one down here. So we're getting the hard edge bounce signal. And you're looking at your Geiger counter and you see the wheel pull hard over and stay stuck to the buy side. Okay, that can give you some confidence to buy the market. To follow through on that signal, you would expect at least some short-term follow-through on that. All right, so there's the Geiger counter. Very handy little tool. We'll be looking at that a little bit later. Robert, you're in the room. Okay, I explained the strategies. Robert's asking, anytime you want to go over those strategies, I'm ready. We don't have anything going on here. Oh, wait a minute, we're getting a trend change signal. Nope, sorry, missed the trend change signal. Had a trend change signal right here. I'll go over the strategies for you again really quick, Robert. The simple thing to do when you first load your, when you shut down your system, it's going to want to turn off the strategies. That's because your strategies are connected to your data feed. So the simple thing to do is, let's turn this off. No, hold on a sec. One second. Let's do it on the Eagle because I may get another signal there. So you first turn your, you first load your charts. They look like this. You want to go to load your strategies. So you go to your strategies tab, or you click on the strategies in the header, and that brings up your strategies window. If you saved your workspace when you closed your system, all you really need to do is, well, you can click apply, or you can just click OK, and voila, there are your strategies placed on your chart. So it's really not that difficult to engage them in the morning. So 1 second here, I'm going to disable this, and I'm going to show you how you can set your templates. So you've opened up your charts, you go to your strategies, and like I said, if you saved your workspace, you would have your strategies already there. Now, you don't need to save your workspace every night. One thing one of the programmers told me once is that if you save your workspace all the time, sometimes it may end up corrupting a file. So save your initial workspace. Set up your charts the way you want. When you close your charts, when you close your NinjaTrader, save that workspace. So that's going to be your, whatever you're going to call it, DTS or live trading or my trading or whatever. That way, when you load your charts in the morning, you'll have that workspace already intact. You don't really need to save it again until you make a change. So if you change the contract month, or if you change the markets you're following, or whatever. But unless you make a major change, you really don't need to save that workspace again. When you load your trade manager the first time, go through it and set up the things the way you like it. So in my case, I've enabled the auto break even. I've set my break even trigger. I've set my risk parameters at 2%. I've preset an all-in, all-out target at 40 ticks. When you have everything to your liking, go here to, in the trade manager, or pardon me, in the template manager. Here where it says save, click on that and just type in whatever you want to call the template. For the eagle, I happen to call it the eagle. So type in eagle and then hit enter, and you will have saved a template called eagle. So next time you go to load a fresh chart, like I mean a brand new chart, you're building a chart for whatever reason, you can go here to load and you can load your eagle. Or if something's happened to your current eagle chart, you need to rebuild it. Anyways, here's the shortcut. You get all your presets with the eagle settings on it. Then all you need to do is click apply, and there you go. You have your eagle with all your presets and all your stop strategies and everything the way you like it. So really, it's just a couple clicks of the mouse, and I can go over this again with you separately, Robert, or you can re-watch the video from this morning. The first few minutes I showed everyone how to do that. Dan, good question. Is there any way to get the system to default to the current contract month? No. No, you'll get the warning from NinjaTrader saying the contract month is about to expire. I will show you an easy way to roll into the next month. And this took me a little while to figure out. So you go to your instrument manager. And let's say we're looking at gold. So we look at gold, we highlight gold, we've already got it in our assortment. All you need to do is click this button here, it pushes gold back into your assortment here, but unless we make any changes, it will automatically default to the front month. In which case, all you do is click back and hey, there's gold. Here's live cattle. One of these must be due for a change. Okay, there you go. So live cattle was 08, and you see by right-clicking here this arrow, or clicking this right arrow, it tells me that the front month is actually the 10th. So we're already into October cattle. So I'll click that over, and then live cattle defaults now to the October contract. So there's an easy way to do it. In fact, you can just go through your chart and go click, click, and then go to the next month, click, click, and it will always default to the front contract month. So that's the simplest way I know to do it. I don't know if anybody has a better shortcut than that, but there's a simple way to make sure you're always trading the front month. It doesn't hurt to have a good expiration calendar either that you can follow. All right. Well, just waiting on the next signal here. I'll deal with Robert's question. Robert's asking, I've got the initial balance lines. That's these lines right here. The initial balance lines, I have them set to show the opening range highs and lows. And Robert's asking, how do I set mine up like yours? All right. So you need to go here to your initial balance lines on your indicators. Your data source by default will be 1 minute data. That's okay. Length of session in hours, 23. That's a default. Open length in minutes. I forget what the default is, but generally speaking, opening range is 30 minutes. From the market open, 30 minutes later, that's considered opening range. Start time. This is going to be native to your computer. I'm on the Pacific West Coast. Therefore, the market's open at 6:30 my time. So whatever your native time zone is, you're going to put that in there. If I remember right, you're in Central Time, Robert, so you'll put 8:30. Then you go down here and you need to turn off your extension lines. Hide extension lines, hide vertical lines. Yours is probably set to false, so you want to change those parameters to true. And I think that's all you need to do. And then you have your opening range. The initial balance lines, by the way, folks, is another one of these add-ons, one of these standalone indicators. You can put this on any chart. I just happen to have it on my Raptor. And what it does is it shows you the opening range. And why is that important? Well, the markets tend to respect the opening range. The thought is that the commercial interests get busy early during that first half hour of trading, and they pretty much set the tone for the day. So when you have the low of the day right here, or the low of the opening range, I should say, right here, and the market comes back to the opening range, some people might be hesitant about taking that signal, and this is why, because very often the market will reject the opening range lows. And likewise, you get a buy signal near the opening range highs, and the market rejects the opening range highs. So it can be a very useful number to keep in mind. And what's interesting too is that sometimes these opening range parameters drift into the next session. So if I don't think it's going to influence today's trading very much, but there was the opening range high for yesterday, and it's well below our opening range low. So I don't think we're going to see that actually influence the market too much today. But sometimes it will. All right, well, it looks like we got a little bit of a burst to the upside. We had that first micro-macro cross signal here higher. That's this guy right here. So that was a buy opportunity. 1, 2, 3. Well, we're getting a very sloppy 4-arrow consolidation. Here on the Falcon, I didn't point it out to you, but we have what we call a trend change signal. Oh, this one actually happens to be a late filter entry also. So we've got a trend line that's going from red to green, after which we're looking for the trend change to confirm, namely prices move up. We look for the sellers to fight the market down, and then we look for the buyers to take control because the trend line is green. And we've come back with a signal now, which is all in sync. This also happens to be what we call a late filter entry signal, which means that the filter goes out of sync and comes back into sync. That's very important. Muy importante. The trend line never changes color during that whole process. So that's also very important. Very high probability signal, the trend change signal and the late filter entry signal. A signal you can take with a great deal of confidence. And you can see this one probably had no trouble finding our high probability profit target. Nope. So a couple opportunities. Looks like they all came right out of the open a few minutes after the market opened. We're kind of plotting higher here, but I think we're going to see a little bit of a bearish move in a moment. Maybe. Gold dead flat sideways this morning. Here's gold on the Eagle. Nice little overnight move in gold. Very strong move, actually. Whoa. Huge sell-off during the European and Asian sessions. Wow, that's crazy. So the Eagle band shifts, and when the band turns over, we look for what we call the trend change signal, which is essentially the first signal where everything is in sync. A lot like the first micro-macro cross signal that we have on the Hawk, but this one is on the Eagle. That signal actually produced right here, drifted sideways for a little bit, and came back with a couple of green bar sell signals before the market decided to tail off somewhat. And just look at that progression. Came back with yet another green bar sell signal. This one's rather drawn out, and this is okay. I have owners asking me sometime, is it okay if the market actually breaches the hard edge? Because normally this is what we see. Normally we see it touching the hard edge and then the hard edge bouncing the market out. It's okay if it breaches, so long as the signal does not, the buy signal doesn't produce. We've still produced a sell signal. So what this is showing us is the buyers becoming a little bit stronger. They've shifted the bar color. They're trying to turn the band over, but the band is still bearish. And now all of a sudden the sellers say, oh, no, you don't. And it almost seems like they wake up at the last second and end up pushing the market down. So that one too went a little bit sideways, but great move lower. And look, another green bar sell. So we've got three very solid green bar sell signals here within the space of a couple, 3 hours. Oh, and another green bar sell. Wow. So gold started the session very bearish, but the North American session, nothing, just sideways. Kind of stuck from the open here, just sideways drift. All right, we'll put that back on the shelf. I'll let you know if anything interesting happens there. Robert, I'm not sure I understand your question entirely here. Robert's asking, can you share what the same indicators would be on the Renko, please? Now, if you're referring to the mean Renko bars, the mean Renko bars is the chart style used for the DTS system. It comes standard with DTS. You can actually trade the DTS charts on a time chart or a tick chart if you prefer. It's actually very robust that way. The mean Renko bars are nice because you really get to see the price action. You know, it's very obvious. There's support here. Very obvious. There's resistance here. The Hawk default brick size for 99% of the markets is 6 ticks. The Falcon and Raptor default size are 8 ticks. And the Eagle default size is 12 ticks. Robert's trying to give me clues as to what I was talking about when I made the comment, and I'm sorry, Robert, I'm drawing a bit of a blank. I'm sure I'll repeat it. There's very few things that I don't go over in the trading room. All right, well, let's demonstrate a signal here. So we've got the signal here on the Raptor, and the tool that I'm using here on the Raptor is slightly different than the ones that you saw on the other birds. This one is called the Trailblazer. And what makes the Trailblazer different is it doesn't have the risk management component built in. So you need to know approximately what your position size should be. The chief benefit with the Trailblazer, however, is that it is a one-click entry system. It was designed because some of our owners said they were trading very fast markets, and they said, can you give me a tool that will allow me to get into the trade really quick? So watch what happens when I click the buy market button. I click one button. I have my profit target. I forgot to make that bigger. There we go. I have my break-even trigger. I have my profit target. And I have my stop loss all with one click. So if you're trading really fast markets, some of you trading stock markets, sometimes the market is unfolding rather fast. You know, Apple stock sometimes likes to unwind really quickly. This is a good tool for entering. Or I've thought about putting it actually on my Hawk micro scalper, because sometimes the trade will develop a little quicker there as well. Oh, so we did get a 4-arrow consolidation, and it does look like it's moving a little bit higher. Not my favorite 4-arrow consolidation. What I'm referring to is these 4 arrows right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever the market starts to move sideways, we look for that fourth arrow as the trigger, if you will, to move the market higher. So one of our high probability signals, so we have the first micro-macro cross, the 4-arrow consolidation. Normally the 4-arrow consolidation will look something like this in an uptrend. It's going to have a little bit more of a bull flag shape to it, and then we get the signals producing 1, 2, come on, something like that. And then we expect the market to go off the fourth signal. I don't mind the signals that produce sideways, like that. Well, I guess in hindsight that was kind of sideways. When I first looked at it, I'm not as fond of the 4-arrow consolidations that have that kind of shape to it. Where they're just kind of drifting higher. But this one, I guess in hindsight, was more sideways. And you can see some very nice follow through from there. So let's get back now to our Raptor trade, which is almost going to hit my break-even trigger, and you'll see the trade manager, or in this case Trailblazer, automatically take my stop from down here and bring it up to the break-even target. I can also force the trade to break even, and you can preset your break-even parameters as well. You can even set negative break-evens if you like. Lots of things to play with. Good question, Bo. Bo's asking, what's the difference between your mean Renko bars and the Renko bars in the NinjaTrader platform? The difference between the Renko bars and the mean Renko here, let me load just the regular Renko bars onto the crude oil chart. And, oops, come here. So we're going to put just regular Renkos on here, Renkos, and we're going to make them also a 6-tick. All right, ignore that they're kind of skinny like that. You're going to notice the DTS system still works, right? We're still producing signals. We've got what we would call a macro pullback signal here, nice move lower. Here's another macro pullback style signal. I would have to make these bars a little bit wider. This would drive me crazy. But you're going to notice these Renko bars have no wicks or tails to them. In fact, you can see this current bar is just forming here at the end. We don't even know where that bar is at the moment. Well, we know it's trading at 45, 13, 14, 13, so we can watch our margin to see where the price is actually trading. But we have, unless we make a mental note of how high or how low the price is going, the Renko bars really give you no idea as to the sensitivity of the price itself. Candlesticks do that much better. So if I go just to a regular, here, let's do like a 3-minute chart. So here now is the DTS system on a 3-minute chart. So you can see a lot of the sensitivity in the price. You can see, there's some very strong buying going on here. Now we're producing a possible green bar sell signal. We may actually see crude oil tail off here a little bit. The candlesticks are great for showing you market momentum, but sometimes they get a little bit out of control. The height of some of these bars makes it really, really difficult to take a trade. So, for instance, if I were to take this trade and try to cover above there, oh, well, I could actually still afford that, but that's quite the range. The mean Renko bars are actually a blend of regular Renko range style bars with candlesticks. And I'm going to turn on the dynamic equivolume bars, which is another add-on that you can get from Indicator Warehouse. The nice thing about the dynamic equivolume bars, for those of you unfamiliar with equivolume charting, what equivolume charting does is it shows you the volume associated with the bar by making the bar fatter. So wider bars have more volume, thinner bars have less volume. What most people don't realize is that the market actually rallies on thin volume. Like bar for bar for bar, the volume is actually relatively light here. But when the market starts to encounter resistance or support, you see a lot more volume coming in. So this is a very good visual. So the mean Renko bars actually incorporate elements of the candlesticks and the Renko style bars. So you get a very clear definition of where support is at. You get a very clear definition of where the buying is at. It's very simple to see who's taking control of the market. And by that I mean, if you look back here, okay, well the market's kind of sideways, but this will still illustrate the point. Market goes up, sellers knock them down. Market comes down, buyers are holding the market. Market goes up, sellers get more aggressive to the short side. Market comes down and the sellers push through. So you could see the sellers getting stronger very quickly. This would not be as evident on a pure Renko chart or a candlestick chart. When Adam first introduced me to the mean Renko charts, I was like, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool 5-minute chart trader. That's all I've ever used for day trading. And he said, Eric, you got to try these mean Renko bars. And I was reluctant, I have to admit. When I started using them, though, after about a week, I said, Adam, I wouldn't go back. These charts are great. I can see very plainly when the control is shifting from the buyers to the sellers and vice versa. See here on crude made a big move down, found support. Oh, all of a sudden we're getting higher shifts in the buying. So what would I be looking for here now? I would be looking for the sellers to prove that they're going to knock the market down early, and that tells me that I can start to sell the market more aggressively. The mean Renko bars, by the way, again, a standalone system, comes standard with DTS, but you can get them separately as well. Just a great charting style. Terrible name. I wish they had called them something else. They could have named it something a little more sexy, but no. Mean Renko bars, that's what you get. They sound like they're very angry. We got angry Renko bars. They're called the mean Renko bars because the bar opens on the mean, the average of the previous bar. It's very useful for the DTS system because it's very indicator friendly. If you have a trading system, you know, let's say you're watching stochastics and RSI or whatever, the mean Renko system or charts are very good for the indicators because they tend to smooth out the indicators, make them more responsive. I can't believe we are holding here. I'm going to go with a much more aggressive stop because I think we're going to see the market put in a reversal here now. Can't believe we didn't hit the break even. Watch, I'm going to force this trade to break even. There we go. I hit the break even button. I'm at break even plus 1 tick. So if the market chooses to reverse here, well, then the broker gets paid. All right, well, we got tagged on that quick little reversal there. I think we're going to see the market trying to turn over on us. We may get a soft edge sell signal here in the Raptor. That's our counter trend signal, and we may get a reversal signal in the Hawk as well. But overall, the day fairly bullish, so I'm not going to get too crazy on the short side. All right. Oh, it looks like Akeem is in the room this morning. Akeem is one of our DTS owners, and he's done very well with this DTS system. He's a top step trader now. He's a funded trader with the Top Step Trading program. If you haven't heard about the Top Step Trading, it's a very interesting program where they will actually fund an account for you to trade. So congratulations, Akeem. That is fantastic. Well done. You deserve a round of applause. A nice pat on the back. Way to go. That's an interesting question. Bo's asking, what is the difference between crude oil and West Texas Intermediate crude in NinjaTrader? I'm assuming you're looking under the instrument manager, because really the CL and West Texas Intermediate is the same. So I just typed crude oil into my description here. There is a difference between Brent crude and West Texas crude, which is the CL contract. West Texas Intermediate and crude oil really are the same difference. Oh, speaking of crude oil, I just missed the crude inventory report. Doggone it. And normally what I like to do, Tony must not be in the room this morning because he normally reminds me of that. All right, what's going on here? Oh, really? Bo says crude oil and West Texas Intermediate price differs by about 34 ticks. One might be, I want to say one might be a cash market. Sometimes the cash is off just a little bit from the futures. Great question here from Dan. Dan asks, would you recommend using smaller profit windows and less runners during the summer months? Yes, very much. One thing I have noticed during the summer though is that very often you'll get a move early. So what I'll try to do is on that first signal that I produce, like I should have taken this one here on the Eagle. I did this the other day in the trading room. The very first signal that the system produced, I took and I tried to put a runner on it. And what will tend to happen during the summer is if the market's going to make a move, it will make that move early and not really look back. So you can see Trade Forecaster still says we've got a little over an hour and 10 minutes left in trend mode, and this morning it's definitely been in trend mode. So what that means when it's highlighting trend mode is you can usually take a signal and maybe get by with a tighter stop, maybe increase your profit objective a little bit, because what you're looking for is you're looking for a smoother market, really. You're not looking for huge drawdowns. You're looking for a rather steady progression. It doesn't, just because it's in trend mode doesn't always mean the market's going to take off like a rocket ship. But it does mean that you're going to have very few or minor pullbacks. So it could have very well been, Trade Forecaster could have very well been in trend mode during this smaller move here. And you can see it wasn't an enormous move. I think it was big enough to hit our profit objective. There's our signal. But if I noticed it was in trend mode, I may get by with a tighter profit target or stop loss, pardon me. And that enables me to perhaps take 2 contracts instead of 1. But yes, Dan, I agree with you 100%. As the day progresses, like now that we're about an hour into the session, I would be looking all in, all out on target. I would be reducing my profit objective. If I normally go for 20 ticks, maybe I'll go for 15 or 17. No, it's a great suggestion, and one I would recommend. Oh, I'm sure you'll do great, Akeem. Akeem says, thanks, Eric, but first I need to survive the funded trader preparation. But that's not impossible. I'm sure you'll do great. For any of you interested in the Top Step program, I do have a link for you here. You can check that out. It's, it's pretty cool. And lots of bragging rights go along with that. Don't brag too much, though, because the market has a way of making you humble. Or it can make you humble. Okay, Robert's asking a question about the trade manager, and we may as well address that since we don't have subsequent signal producing. Robert's asking, I'm trying to make some changes here to my trade manager, but it's all grayed out. Why can I not make changes? It's because your trade manager is turned on. It is a strategy, so you first need to disable it. You're going to notice your only tab that is black or that you can change is your enabled tab. That's your on-off button. So turn that to false, apply. Now you can make whatever changes you want. And then when you're ready, remember to turn it back on. Very important. Remember to click apply again, and that will turn your trade manager back on. So You need to turn it off before you can make any changes to it. Wow, way to go, Akeem. Akeem says, in my trading combine, that's what they call it at Top Step, I managed to achieve a 12-day winning streak. Impressive. Nicely done. Yeah, and then Akeem says, jokingly, but I don't think that's normal. Yeah, okay. Robert's asking about the template manager in the strategies here. The three dots are still there. That's okay. They're always going to be there. So you just, I don't even delete them. Where it says save, just start typing. Falcon. Oop, I can't do it. Got turned off. Oop, come on now. So here you can just type Falcon and hit enter, and it will automatically save something called Falcon. So don't worry about the three dots. They don't do anything. And then if you mistype or you saved one you don't want, you can go here to remove the templates as well. And remember to turn everything back on or it won't work. Yes, you hit the word from the drop-down menu, Robert. So you select the template you want. You only need to do that if you're loading it onto a brand new chart. You don't need to do that every day. Watch the beginning of this morning's session. I won't go over it again right now. We can go over it privately if you like, but if you rewatch the first few minutes of this morning's session when it's posted online at the Indicator Warehouse YouTube channel, you'll see very plainly how that works. Oh, that's fantastic. Akeem says, I submitted results to Adam. He can show you my stats if you're interested. Yes, very much. I'd love to see those. And I can provide screenshots of all the trades as well. And Akeem is using TraderView, which is an online journaling program, to highlight his trades. Well, that's fantastic. Well, folks, I am terribly sorry that the market is not giving me a second chance to show you another signal here. Our eagle signal just taking off, you know, it hit our profit objective and then some. The hawk has just been out of control since this first micro macro cross and this 4-arrow consolidation. I was hoping we'd get a macro pullback signal through here that I could take, but that hasn't happened. The Falcon, out of this trend change signal and the late filter entry signal, it did give us a subsequent trend line touch signal, which I must have been looking at something else. And the Raptor, well, I did take the Raptor trade, didn't I? But I think I ended up getting tagged around break even on a little hiccup somewhere. But the market just in full rally mode today. Slowly plodding along. What I'll do is I'll just hop into an order here. We don't have an order, but we may as well spend a few minutes here showing you the stop strategies and how the trade manager, or in this case the trailblazer, adjust your stops for you. With the Trailblazer, you preset your profit objectives here at the top of the tool. So right now I've got one contract in with a 20 tick target. I've got one contract in with a 0 target, namely it's going to be a runner. And this wasn't a signal. I just hopped in here to try to show you how this works because we may not get another signal before I need to close up the room this morning. I do have a lesson to do just after we close the room, so I may end up closing it a few minutes early. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If there's a market you would like me to highlight. The bears have left the building though. We've got ourselves a very strong looking trend here. If the sellers do show up this afternoon, I don't think we're going to get a full-on reversal. Rather, we may end up seeing the market move a little bit sideways. Oh, I see. I think, okay, so Robert's asking, so when I go to load my template, all right, here we go. We'll finish with, oops. So we turn this off. There we go. So Robert says, so when I go to load my template on a fresh chart and I go down here to Falcon, nothing shows up. Yeah, that's okay. The computer still knows that you've just loaded Falcon. So just apply. Oops, got to turn it on. There we go. Apply, and you will have all your presets there. Yeah, don't worry about those 3 dots. I don't know why it doesn't display, but it doesn't. Crude oil also on a tear higher from the inventory report. Oh, I didn't get to show you the OCO function. Darn it. Dropped the ball here this morning. We have an OCO function here. OCO standing for one cancels other. OCO functions are most useful if you have a market that's sideways. So for instance, you're looking down here and it looks like the market's drifting sideways and you want to bracket the range. You want to buy above and sell below. You can do that with the OCO function. You right click, you enter your order, you enter your sell order, so you got your buy order, your sell order. When you use the OCO function, you need to be aware that these signals are live the moment you put them on your chart. So I tend to pull them away and then bring them into where I want them to be. You can have as many OCO signals on your chart as you want. You can, just by toggling the OCO feature, you can put, like I say, as many OCO orders on your chart as you want. Each one, the related orders are going to be marked with the same number. So the ones marked OCO3 are together. So if I cancel one, the other one automatically cancels. See that? Now I'm going to let this engage and I'm going to enable a stop. And what you'll see is that the trade manager will automatically give me a stop when the OCO order is engaged. Now the trade manager is smart enough to know as well that if my stop strategy is down here and I engage the sell order, you're going to see it's going to give me a default stop on the top. It's not going to place my stop loss order down here. The one thing the OCO order does not do, however, is give you a profit target. So you cannot preset your profit objectives if you're using your OCO. And this isn't a real signal. I'm just trying to demonstrate this before we go today. Oh my, are they really just gonna, let's bring this in a little tighter then. Come on. We're right in the middle. All right, you stinkers, we'll do it like this. Oh, come on. I don't think I've ever had to get a market. Oh my gosh, it's dead neutral. I'm scaring the market. It doesn't want to go higher or lower. Come on. Oh, man. This is painful. Here, well. There we go. Finally. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we engage the short order. We automatically get a stop. Now, you can preset this stop at a different distance. It seems to be preset at only about 5 or 10 ticks, so I would have to change that default a little bit. We do get an auto break even because I have the break even feature enabled, but as you can see, we don't have a profit target. So Trade Manager gave me a signal on the, gave me a stop on the correct side of the market, even though the stop strategy is down here. Pretty clever, huh? All right, I'm afraid the rest of this session could be painfully slow, but this is probably a good time to wrap things up. If you have any questions, please type quickly. Thank you for your attendance today. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions about the DTS system. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to show you a few more trades. The market kind of bolted on me early and didn't give me another chance to get back in. That happens. We will have another open house next Wednesday. DTS owners, I will see you in the trading room tomorrow morning. And yeah, be careful out there. I think we may end up seeing the market chop sideways from here on out. So be careful. Don't get too aggressive, especially on the short side. All right, we'll talk to you folks later. Bye for now.